This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Oh, hey there! People are always coming up to me and being like, Arlo, your website, Arlo Recommends, looks so sleek and professional. You must be some kind of coding wizard. How do you do it? And I'm like, I'm not telling. Except for when I'm contractually obligated to tell. This is one of those times. It's all Squarespace!
Squarespace makes it ridiculously easy to put together a professional website with all the bells and whistles. There are tons of templates to work off of, so no web development or coding knowledge required. Creating content for my site is quick and simple. I can schedule posts, have them automatically pushed to my Twitter, embed tweets and videos, whatever I need. And beyond that, Squarespace offers detailed analytics for content creators to stare at, as well as a host of powerful extensions to utilize.
If you need a website but don't know where to start, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. Then when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/Arlo to get 10% off your first website or domain. Hello? Why, yes, Grandma, I did make that website myself. Pretend I winked there. I could wink for real, but I don't feel like it. Skabangle! Hello, my friends. Hello, how are you? Hello, I love you. How are you doing today? So, I've made a few videos on what I've been calling the NSO situation. You know, expansion pack, really expensive. N64 emulation, not the best. You know what I'm talking about. And actually, some viewers pointed me to a really great video on the subject. I know, like, from the start, we knew that one of the problems was that Nintendo was just kind of running all of these games through, like, one emulator instead of, like, addressing any problems with specific games. But this video here goes into just a lot more detail and about, like, how they handled old games on the Wii and the Wii U, and it's really good. Just, like, go check that out. Gives you more info on this whole thing. Very interesting. So, things aren't great, obviously, and actually, new games are coming to the service slowly, and we're discovering new problems with those games as well. Now we've got a decently serious problem with Paper Mario, which recently came out. It's turning into like the NSO problem of the week. And actually, here's another video that people pointed me to about why this is happening. Yeah, I mean, it's just another one of those like random unfortunate issues. There's a glitch, apparently only in the US version of Paper Mario, where if you get a game over in any circumstance while you have a certain party member, Watt, in your party, you get a game over, the game crashes. But the thing is, if you haven't been like manually setting a lot of restore points, I do, because I'm paranoid about losing stuff. But if you haven't been, then if the Switch crashes, then it can't set a restore point like it does when you normally close out the game, so people are losing a lot of progress this way. And yeah, it's only in the US one. I mean, like, the video here even goes into like why it's happening with the code and everything. It's really weird. It's just another thing. Like, it's weird that Nintendo even released it in this state, and I don't know, maybe they will fix it, but it's another thing. It's another problem with this whole N64 emulation thing. So, okay, on to business though. So my most recent video on this subject was about how Nintendo's long-term plans kind of offered a glimmer of hope for the service. The gist of the video is that since Nintendo, like, you know, explicitly, clearly plans on letting us carry our Nintendo accounts with us even beyond the Switch and into the next system and maybe even beyond that, and also because they keep mentioning improving the service, you know, adding value to the service, yada, 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 basically it means that there may come a time when these issues are resolved. It could be that these are just the early growing pains of a very young service. There may eventually come a time when, you know, a lot, if not all of these issues are ironed out and NSO is a lot better of a value. Well, along these same lines, it seems that Nintendo has offered us yet another glimmer, a spark, a tiny little spark of hope in the darkness. And it's not a huge spark by any, it's just like a spark. When you say a spark, you really mean it. It's a tiny little thing, but I try to look for those sparks where I can, those glimmers. So if you've been following all this, you definitely remember the Dark Link Room in Ocarina of Time. It's
it's kind of become emblematic of the whole situation, you know? It's because, like, it's the best example of the N64 emulator not running properly. The original version of this room has got this really awesome effect. Like, especially back in the day on the N64, it's like this foggy, misty thing. It looks like the room goes on forever. Super duper good effect. And because it utilizes, you know, it requires like reflections and fog in order to create this effect, those are the two things that the Switch emulator, the emulator on Switch, does not like. It just does not enjoy doing those things. So the effect, naturally, is completely ruined. Just like reveals the texture underneath, it looks like garbage. Complete garbage. But here it is. Here's the glimmer. You ready for the glimmer? It's coming right now. Nintendo recently released an update that improves this effect. Improves, doesn't fix, and doesn't improve by very much. Not very much at all. The fog issue is still present. You can still see the texture under there and everything, but you can see a little more of the reflection that's supposed to be in the mist on the water. Some of that has come back. I'm also hearing reports that this update fixed some of the input delay. I don't know about this because I'm receiving conflicting information on this in the same way that I received it just with the initial issue in the first place. I hear a lot of different things. Some people are saying the input delay is ridiculous. It's way better in the original and way better in other, you know, virtual console releases or whatever. But then I'm seeing some people who are comparing it to their actual N64 and not getting a big difference at all. But then other people are. So I really don't know. I cannot comment on the input delay thing. Yeah, some people are saying that it's a little bit better. If that's the case, then awesome, great. But let's focus on that reflection, this very slight graphical improvement. Now, this might seem like a very small thing, and I mean, it is. It is a very, very small thing. But I feel like there's something to this. I feel like there's a good amount of weight to this particular glimmer. The main problem through all of this has been Nintendo, just from the beginning. The problem has been Nintendo running all these games, just slapdash right into the emulator, and there you go, it's all done. And then our main worry, because of that, is that Nintendo won't ever fix it. The fear is that they throw all those games onto Switch and just use that emulator and say, boom, done, moving on, see you later. But this right here, this small thing, this is something. This is a change, even if a very small one, to one individual game. All by itself, it's whatever. You know, very few people are gonna notice that slight reflection thing. But like, if you consider the thesis of my other video, that Nintendo could keep on improving this service over time, maybe even like forever, this small step right here could be, theoretically, one small step of many to come. If it's true that these games on this service are gonna be with us basically, you know, forever, I take my Switch 2 out of the box and I log into my account and I, you know, boom, there I am. I'm still subscribed. I can go in, play all these games. If that's true, then that means this seems very likely to only get better over time with little updates just like this to address specific problems in specific games. There may legitimately come a time, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not even by the Switch 2. It'd be really disappointing if it wasn't by then, but whatever. There may come a time, whenever it is, when NSO and the expansion pack or whatever is legitimately the best place to play these old games. Or at least to, you know, play them, like, legally and legitimately and all that. You know, like on a Nintendo system. And yeah, like, I'll completely admit here, like, considering how long we've had to wait for all of this, small steps are very frustrating.
I mean, we spent the first years of the Switch's life wondering what the heck Nintendo could possibly be doing or planning for legacy content behind the scenes. They spent so long teasing us and then just to give us something like this? You know, when N64 games launch on Switch in like the 4th year, and Nintendo in all that time just kind of hasn't taken the time to make sure all the games run correctly. Like, yeah, it's no good. But here in the Nintendo fandom, we take what we can get. Sometimes that's the best that we can do. Sometimes all we can do is just kind of hope that things get better. And then when they get a teeny tiny bit better, we say, good. That's a good positive thing there. Well, what do you think? Is this really not a thing I should be celebrating? Is this step so small that you don't really feel confident that we will ever get enough steps toward having a good platform to play these games? Let me know down in the comments. And seriously though, what? Paper Mario, don't get a game over if Watt's in your party, okay? It's just you don't want to lose progress. Honestly, I never used Watt anyway. Like outside of like the couple times when you need to use, I just didn't do it for me. I don't know. Never really used Watt. So let me know down in the comments, more importantly than any of this, which Paper Mario character you like the most right now. The Paper Mario partner that you love. Is this your first time playing the original Paper Mario? Let me know which partner is cool. Who's my favorite? Probably Bombette. Yeah, probably Bombette. Oh no, Bo's really good too. Oh, Bo is great. Oh man, there's so many good. What were we talking about? What's this video about?